YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, it's Sunday morning again, up the shed, sitting next to my old John Deere. I've been putting an awful lot of work into the John Deere lately. Not much that was worth filming, as in sanding panels. We have quite a few panels sanded at the moment that need painting, but we've had so much rain here lately. In the last week, we've had about 13.5, maybe 14 inches of rain, and yeah, for painting in the rain, well, just the humidity, it doesn't help. It just doesn't do a good job. So we're better off to be patient and wait and get a bit of nice fine weather with nice dry air. I leave the big lights on in the shed here if I'm going to paint. Last night I was painting. Last night I was hoping to do a bit of paint today, which I don't know, it doesn't look real good, and so I left the big lights on in the shed. And sometimes with their 400 watt bulbs, each of them, and hopefully they generate a bit of warmth and get rid of a bit of humidity out of the air. But oh, who knows? We'll see. But this morning it's just 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's quite overcast still, and they're forecasting rain, so I don't think we'll get any painting done. But part of the work we've been doing on the John Deere is all around. You know, we've got all the fuel bowl on. I still have to paint a little pipe here. I've got the carby air cleaner, all that sort of stuff done, and a lot of the work I've been doing. I spent almost a full day last weekend just making a wiring harness for it. And in making a wiring harness, you know, we've taken it away from standard, as in we put the alternator on so the tractor's more usable for us, and in that we had to rewire the dash and some of the light switches and things like that. So now we've got our headlights working. I actually had it started and run yesterday. We had the coil and all that sort of thing. That's all wired in now, and it was a bit, well, we got it going. It needed a little bit of a tune up, and I mean that's just par for the course with this. But it seems to be running nicely now. The hydraulics are working, but where we put those arms on, well, when I bought the tractor, it didn't have very much hydraulic oil in it because it was neglected, poor old thing. And so now I've put oil in it, and where we put those arms on and made that spacer washer, well, it's leaking oil out of there, so I'll have to slide those arms off once more, and I'll work out a seal for there. I couldn't see an O-ring or anything in there when I had them off, but perhaps I should just look a bit harder. There might be something there. But yeah, it was a leak I wasn't aware of earlier, so I didn't spend any time really having a look at it. But I'll take you for a walk around the tractor. It'll only be a short video this week. I'm trying to get in before the rain. When you try and do a video or record some video in a big tin shed and you've got a lot of rain around, it just doesn't bloody work. So I've tried a few times to film little bits and pieces, and the sound is just incredible. Well, you're flat out hearing yourself when you got a heap of rain coming down on a big tin shed roof. The sound in here is pretty horrific. And we had one storm, and we had in 50 minutes we had 108 millimetres of rain, which is just under 4.5 inches, and that's what washed our driveway and that's it. So anyway, look, I'll take you for a bit of a walk around the tractor, but there won't be a lot of content this week. There's just not a lot of interesting stuff to do. I don't have any machining or anything like that to do. It's at this stage, it's fit little brackets and tidy up wiring harnesses and things like that. So I do have a little bit of work to do on an adjustable link, or a levelling box we call it, on the back of the tractor. There's a piece there that I tucked away that I haven't dealt with yet that we probably need to pull apart, grease up and get sorted once more. And anyway, yeah, the thing that's holding us up at the moment is the bad weather for painting. I've sanded some panels down and got them ready for a bit of spray putty and that, but unless it's nice and sunny, I won't be doing that. So yeah, it's a long-term project, so it's worth waiting. But anyway, I'll take you for a little walk around the tractor and I'll show you what I've been up to, and yeah, we'll go from there. Well, we're around the back of the tractor now, and a few little jobs I have done here is I pulled this whole housing here off, and there's a PDO seal around there. That was something that we had to deal with. I spoke earlier about turning this around, but actually down in the side here there's a cutaway for this piece here, so that is in the right spot for this model tractor. But the other models, this little bracket for the PDO cover goes down here, but on this tractor it's in the right spot. So yeah, I was barking up the wrong tree with that one. We've also got the light on the seat and the seat cushions. The seat cushions have reproduction tags and all on them. I got them out of America from Steiner Tractor Parts, and yeah, they're a great cushion. I'll see if we can just take you in. I'm not sure if it's going to focus on it, but anyway, they've got the tag, the original tag that says about the 1926 legislation for the seats. The cushions are lovely and soft. We've got some of the stickers on, and this little tap here, that's so you can check if you have enough hydraulic oil in it. And normally, if you have enough oil in it, I've actually drained it a little bit because I have to pop these arms off and try and reseal them. But yeah, that's just so the farmer in the early days could go for a quick walk around, check the oil, and yeah, not have to get a spanner out or anything like that. But the back end's looking okay. The arms that go in here and drop down, that's what I'll probably be doing today. There's an adjustable one here that we call a levelling box, so we'll have a look at that. But yeah, down underneath there, I'll see if I can zoom in. We've got the tie down brackets on. These fellas here, they're stainless steel tie down brackets, so when we tie it onto a trailer to take it to a display, it's okay, we're not scratching paint. We've got them both sides, so yeah, with the seats and the lights are looking good. The brackets are all done, so yeah, starting to look okay. But yeah, I am impressed with those cushions. This is just around the other side. We've got the Touch-O-Matic, the hydraulic stickers, the decal on there. That pipe I made up a few weeks ago, but we tried the hydraulics yesterday and they're all working nicely. A little bit of a leak, but the arms are going up and down nicely. The dash is sitting out at the moment because we're doing the wiring harness. Up the top, or in through here, I've put a big 50 amp master fuse in, and we've put a fuse box in here with the modern blade type fuses in it, and it's not a worry. It's better to have it reliable than exact. And there's a battery cover that comes down through here, and all this is covered up, so no one will ever know. To walk past the tractor and have a look, you won't know, but the tractor will be a safe thing to use. Now, when we come around here, that's the carby and the carby and all the detail there. I only put this on the other day. This is a new one. The old one was a bit dicky, and I still have to undo this pipe, and we'll be painting that. The choke cable, I'm going to leave unpainted. If by painting that, you can see it does seal it up a little bit, but then you've got to worry sometimes with a bit of paint seeping in. All the carby here, we've detailed all the main jets and the drain and got the hose on. The exhaust manifold, it was the same colour as this, but when we were running and tuning yesterday, the exhaust manifold has changed colour, which that's to be expected. Down on the bottom of the sump, there's another little tap there, and even though there's a dipstick there, if the tractor's over full, you can just drop that bung open, and that will make sure that your oil is on the correct level, so that it's not too high. So that's all looking good. We've got all our stainless steel clamps and things like that. They're not quite exactly accurate as to what the tractor had, but they're a better option. More tie downs here. We've got all the new boots on there, which I think I've shown you before. We've wired everything up. We've got the original type wire through here. The whole new harness is made. I've got a little bit of a tidy up to do up here where it goes through to the coil and the horn. But all in all, it's looking pretty good. That's all covered up really. And then coming around the side there, we've got nice new clips here. This is the tacho cable, which is in the road at the moment, so we're not going to shift that. This here is the dash, or the back of the dash, where we've rewired everything. We still need to tidy up all this yet, and that'll get all tied together nicely, and yeah, make it look like the rats didn't chew it anyway. We'll try and tidy that up a bit, and but all in all, the little tractor's coming on nicely. That's a bit of a view of the top of the seat. The wire there is going to the back light, and another part of the registration rules in Australia for this tractor to have it registered and actually have it road driven is that we must have a flashing light, which is a condition SL1. So we have to wire that, and there's a little red tail light in that plough lamp at the back there. So we have to run wires back to that. So we haven't quite done that yet. All the front wiring's pretty well done. It's just the back wiring and the linkage arms and things like that to paint. But anyway, we'll get there. Yeah, we're doing it because we enjoy doing it, not because it's a rush job. Right, this is the levelling box we're going to work on. This goes from one of those top linkage arms right down to the bottom, and there's a thread here and a female piece, and this turns, and you can actually put a little bit of angle on the side or level something up. So what we need to do is, this handle's been broken off one time, so we actually have a new handle to put onto it. The dog just settling in there, and this is seized into here, so we'll probably have to heat this up with the oxy. And just because we're here, we might pop this apart and re-grease. It's had a failure at some stage, and there's a weld around here. But we can't buy this part now, so we're just going to have to put up with that weld. It's no big deal. It's just part of the history of the tractor. This pin and bracket, I left this in the kerosene overnight in the parts washer, and where it comes through the top here was quite seized. But anyway, yeah, look, just you can see the rust there, but it's sort of damp. So yeah, leaving it in the parts washer seems to have helped, I'd say. So anyway, what we need to do now is clean up in here. Looks like there's a circlip in here. I'll just tidy that. Yep, there's a circlip. There's a circlip to take out just here, so I'll find some pliers and we'll do that. Once again, when you're using circlip pliers, use the biggest ones for the job. Looks like they're in. It's a little bit stuck around the back edge here, but there we go. Bargain. Well, I've got a messy bench, haven't I? Alright, now I'll deal with some of these other little pieces here. There's a little lock screw here which I presume holds the pinion gear in. So it'd probably be reasonable to undo that next. Get the pinion out of the way. And there's another one here. But yeah, that's, if you rounded this out, it wouldn't be involved in that. So I use my very best shifter. Just working back and forth a little. There's a lot of paint there. You can see this moving as I turn that screw. There we go. Now, I was hoping that this would come out then. Well, this came out anyway. That's that new deep brown watery grease. Poor old thing. Well, these tractors, it's 1957 model, so you never know what's happened in its time. Poor old girls get neglected. I'm just thinking about this here, these roll pins here, and I'll have a look in the parts book, but perhaps it was a wire clamp that went over centre down onto the handle here to stop that turning. I'll have a look in the parts book about that. Oh, it looks like it might go with a little persuasion. Look at that. That's where the screw goes in into that groove there. That's what stops it coming out. So that's good. This particular model I've never had apart before. So, and the other problem we're going to have now is because this is too fat, I can't actually get that right out and clean it without grinding all that down, which is something I'm not going to do. I think from here we'll just tidy up, do a big clean up, wash out in here, blow dry, do the whole lot, and yeah, re-grease and reassemble once it's all nice and tidy. Well, I've got all this cleaned out. I've cleaned the housings up, tidied them up. A little bit more tidy up yet before we start painting. But I put the gear in. I've just slid this fella in, the pinion in. We need to hold him in here like that. I'll just try and pick you up on the frame a little bit. Perhaps if I zoom out, that'll be alright, I reckon. And we've buffed the screw up, so we just, hopefully we find the centre. That's the centre just there, when it's about level. So as we screw this in, it should locate nicely. I'll pick the screwdriver up off the floor. You see that pop up? So we know we're pretty good. It'll locate that for us. We'll use the proper spanner this time. That's working how it should. Now this little fella here, that's our new handle we bought. We have to put a roll pin in. I'll just start that roll pin off. Just lovely. That's just beautiful, isn't it? So what we can do now is this rocker box. He sits up in the top here. We've cleaned all that up, and that gives you the pivot both ways. So we'll put a bit of grease on here. Oh, I'm doing well this morning. Right, clean all the grease off because it's got sand in it and start again. Not to worry. Let's have another go. I can slide in there a little bit. Ain't nothing wrong getting a bit of grease on your fingers, doesn't hurt. There is a law of nature though, and the law of nature states that the more grease you have on the hands, the itchier your nose gets. And the other thing is, when you've got grease on your hands, you either get an itchy nose or you want to go for a wee, one or the other. But anyway, we're all good this morning. No itchy nose, don't need to have a nature break. Now this thread, it screws into this piece here. There's a thread down in there. And so to get that started, a little bit of grease down in the hole. We'll just hold that in there to stop it from turning. I might zoom out a bit more. And by turning the handle at the top here, that lets the thread go in. Normally if one of these plays up, it's the thread here. This is cast, it's a softer thread than this fella. So anyway, the goal is to wind that right down to here, so that when we paint it, we don't actually get the thread painted, and then we can unwind the thread again, and in unwinding the thread, we'll have a piece of thread not painted. So there you go, that'll do for this little piece. That's another piece done, and we should be able to hang it up and a little bit of primer on it and get it ready for green when the sun pokes its head up again. Well, that's a wrap for 1 week. Sorry there's not much content, there's just not a lot of interesting stuff to film, like watching me strip wires back and crimp them on. Yeah, you've probably got better ways to spend your time than that. But look, as it progresses, we'll keep you involved, and hopefully next week I'm going to throw a bit of machining in, something like that. I feel like doing a bit of machining. After after sanding panels and all that, a bit of machining is a pleasant relief. But anyway, look, thanks for watching. Have a good week, and I'll catch up with you later, eh? See ya.